So this is the Athlon Midas 4.5 to 27 single focal plane scope. Some of the things that I've done to enhance it for myself, this is the mil version, is I went ahead and took a permanent ink marker, and at the half mil marks I went ahead and just put a little silver hash mark. When it comes, all the 10th marks are just marked exactly the same, but I really like having a reference mark at the half mil mark, so that way I can go ahead and I can dial 5/10ths quick and do another 10th above or below if I need to for my dialing. The other thing I ended up doing was going and making this thing actually have a zero stop. So right now this thing continually ends up at about 6/10ths below zero, and what I ended up doing was taking the cap off, I'll show you here in a minute, and putting in a fiber cap thread gasket, and this is the package. It's a #1 cap thread made by Danco. They're about $1, and I picked this one up at Ace Hardware. I'm sure Home Depot and a bunch of other places have it. It's actually a washer for keeping your faucets from leaking, and I'll show you how it fits here. So here I have the turret cap removed. By the way, I ended up purchasing this scope off of Amazon, and Athlon, listening to its customers, ended up finding out that the original threads for the cap screws used a 1mm Allen wrench, which was extremely flimsy, and Athlon ended up changing out all their turret caps to a new larger size, and I emailed Athlon on a Friday, actually Thursday night and Friday morning, about getting the new caps with the larger threads, and Thursday night email, Friday morning got a reply from them with a shipping notification, and I had it by the new caps by Monday. And so this is the new cap screws, much larger, much better. But anyway, so here's the turret cap removed, and this is what the fiber washer looks like. They're listed as a 1-inch outside diameter and 13/16. This one actually, thrown on my calipers, ended up 0.985 OD, 0.815 ID, and 0.06 for the thickness. So what this thing does is it fits on the outside ring, clears everything, and the cap just basically keeps it centered in there. The spacer's already been put in there again. Dial it back up, crank it down. Looks like we're right around that half mil mark, below zero. So again, this part number is #1 cap thread. It's a 35543B, made by Danco Company. My opinion of the Athlon Midas 4.5 to 27, I'm really enjoying it. It's worked very well, especially for this rifle. It may be a little large for an AR, but I do like shooting longer distance and shooting groups, so I do have a 1:6 razor that I can put on here too, but haven't had the opportunity to try out the Midas 1:6. Would love to do that, or the Cronus. The scope works well all the way up to, when you get to max power, you do end up having a little darkening of the image. I mean, it certainly zooms in far, but you do lose some available light in the scope. So shooting it around the 20 to 25 power works awesome. Everything's nice and bright and crisp. So again, if you're thinking that the image clarity is going to stay all the way throughout, and the brightness all the way to 27 power, you may need to look at the Cronus line. Again, I haven't tried the Cronus, but this one with a 50mm objective, you do start losing light at 27 power. Not a deal breaker by any stretch. Most of my shooting is, especially match shooting, I dial back to 12 to 15 power. This thing is set to basically work as a front focal plane at 15 power, and I have tested that and everything looks great at 100 yards. So again, if you're looking to shoot it in a match and you're worried that it's single focal plane, just dial it to 15 power and everything that you read on your reticle will sub 10 correctly. So easy enough to make it a match scope, even being single focal plane. That's it. Hope you enjoyed the review and the tips.